Very quiet generator.
It's very nice.
Oh, I wish there was more room here. Alright, so when we first got the generator, we started it up and found we only had power in half the boat. After a whole lot of Googling, we decided to just take it apart and see what happens, and we found this stud right here was broken off the breaker. So we replaced it, and we had a generator that worked for about a month. Then on the 4th of July last year, it stopped working in the middle of our trip.
It's because I broke it.
So after some more Googling and talking to the Mace techs, which are surprisingly helpful, we found that this capacitor right here had went bad. It didn't look bad. You couldn't tell anything, but it was bad. Once we took it out, I did a test across the two sides of it, which this one tests proper at, I don't remember what the reading's supposed to be, but that's the proper test. The old one, when I tested across those terminals, it came out as a complete open, which meant the capacitor was in fact bad. So for 50 bucks, we fixed it, and it's been running great since. How the fuck's this fit on?
Magic.
I'm pretty sure that's what I used last time. Okay. Is it recording?
Yeah, it's been recording.
Okay. So now that the generator earned its maintenance, we decided to start changing the impeller, which is in this pump over here. And you have to take this side off to get to it. And we're not doing that right now because it's the biggest pain in the butt, and it's got a new impeller in it. It has a really cool oil change system that I can make an absolute mess with by using a hose that doesn't fit very well on here. But you twist this to unlock it, and you can pump it, and it pumps the oil out. Down here we got the oil filter. We got an oil fill here. There's another one you can kind of get to on the back, which I thought was kind of odd. And there's apparently two different cooling systems on this, and I haven't figured out what the difference is. There is a coolant overflow here, and there is another coolant overflow up top in the back. If anybody's got any idea why it's that way, let me know, because I'm confused. Gotta turn it on. Very quiet generator.
It's very nice. Very nice.
Alright, so on Hatteras, we have three settings for our input. We have the generator, we have the 50 amp 240 volt, and we have the 30 amp 120 volt when 50 amp shore power is not available. When we're on 240, we can see each leg individually. Well, I That's not a very big jump. Apparently we have an efficient stove too, because we just turned that on to show you the jump. Don't know if you can see it. Okay. Alright, so this is a temporary setup for proof of concept. I wanted to add house batteries in so we didn't have to worry about running our starting batteries dead overnight. The way Hatteras had this set up originally, there's two 8D starting batteries, and they were also the house bank. They also start the generator, so if they go dead, I have no options. In the future, I'm going to separate the starting battery out for the generator, so the generator will have its own battery, each engine will have its own battery, and then we'll have this house bank, which is going to get expanded. So when I started this, I used two 40 amp DC to DC chargers. When the engines are running, it charges the house bank. When the generator's running, through a daisy chain, it will charge the house bank off of the maintainers that maintain the engine batteries. When we're plugged into shore power, it charges the house batteries off the engine batteries, which are charged off the maintainer. So when I put this in, thankfully, Hatteras has a full 12-volt DC panel, so ship service was separate. So all I had to do was unhook that from the main bus from the starting batteries, and I actually used a dual battery switch, so we can have the option of using the starting batteries as house batteries if we need to for some reason that I can't imagine in my head at the moment. Or we can have it on the lithium batteries. I believe we can also kind of charge the starting batteries by setting it on both and connecting them together, but don't hold me to that one. I know enough to be dangerous. I'm not going to open the panel and show how I did the work in there. You're talking about like triple-aught cables that are capable of carrying hundreds of amps of power, and while I know how to do it safely, I don't know how to explain to do it safely. I know enough to be dangerous, and I know when I need to stop and ask for help, which I did do on that one from an electrical engineer friend of mine.
So we noticed this bilge pump back here was running. And so we were checking to see where the water was coming from. And this part here was covered in mud, and it was dripping down here and going down all the way there, and you could still see all the mud and the dirt. So this is where all the packing is for the rudder. And I believe this, oh, that's some of it that was coming out. It's gross. So we tightened the bolts down here to get it to stop leaking, and it seems to have stopped. But we do need to fix that and get the packing replaced, which we're apparently going to be doing while in the water. So you want to see that? Stay tuned, because it will be coming up sooner than what I would like to happen.